Welcome back, Officers of the Republic. Your Coruscant Underworld Police Chief AP Gaines. Proving Grounds is back, and I can finally play it for the first time ever because I already had Razor Crest and Cat the first time the first Proving Grounds came around. And what we've been hearing is that Proving Grounds is, wait for it, I know this is going to be hard to believe, but if you are poor, it is hard for you. I know. Capital Games making the game frustrating and difficult for poor people. I never would have guessed. But we're going to show you, sadly, the only ways that I found to beat it reliably. Now, I'm sure with some tweaking of mods and some really high relics on random stuff, you can probably figure it out. But I'm going to keep this to reasonable relic levels and teams that you might have at the 4 million GP mark, right? Because as you guys know, we live in a poor person galaxy of heroes where you kind of need 4 million GP to start the game. We're going in. Just for a refresher, all characters need to be R3+, and you're facing Phoenix with an event feat that basically everyone dies and you get offense. It's useful in some situations I've found, but very bad in others. So, I think it goes without saying, don't use Shaak Ti clones. I think it goes without saying that any and all Galactic Legends will walk through this event with a breeze. JMK, JML, I'm sure CS, OKR, Lord Vader, and Rey will breeze through this event no problem. This is the sad news. I have only completed this with 2 successful teams, and you're not going to like it. I mean, you're going to have these teams at 4 million GP, or at least you're going to have one of them, and that's Gas 501st. And for those of you at home, my Gas 501st team is all R3 with an R45s for some reason. A Relic 7 Gas, but they're poorly modded, so they're nothing too special. This is not in the least bit unattainable for any of you guys out there. Now, similarly with the other team that we're going to talk about, the reason it works is because they have you can't die just yet mechanics. As you guys know, Gas will shield all of the clones behind his beautiful greasy buttocks until his protection's down, and then they get to go. And as you see, it happens rather quickly. So, if we want this to work, it's going to be kind of counterintuitive. We just play the battle normally. I'm sure they'll sacrifice. They'll start ripping us to shreds. And this does require a little bit of RNG. In the battle that we tested, it was a little bit of a bloodbath. We got lucky with who they decided to attack while Gas was down, which was obviously nice, but you know, you can never be too sure. So if you get bad RNG, there's no shame in just starting over and saving yourself 5 minutes. I'm sure you guys have played Galaxy of Heroes events before, where you get the bad RNG on the P4 of Gas, or the Thrawn event, or the Padme event, or whatever, the C-3PO event, God forbid, and you just got to restart. It's part of the game. So obviously, Gas is going to kind of shield them for a while. You'll be able to whittle them down. And then after they sacrifice, I found that it can actually, very contradictory to popular belief, be helpful to use the event feat. I wouldn't use the event feat until they've sacrificed and kind of started getting towards the end of the battle. Because the event feat kind of, they didn't sacrifice there, as you see here. So this is an example of bad RNG, where they don't sacrifice, everything goes to shit, they all die, and you gotta restart. Take my word for it, it worked for me. They just have to not die. The event feat is very interesting here. Let's actually go back in. The event feat is interesting here because it takes away 25% max health, I believe, from all of your opponents, or from all of your allies, and then in turn, for every ally that does it to, you add 5% offense to the character doing the ability, which is very, 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 very bad, needless to say. But after they've sacrificed and they're at their end of their sweet, sweet lives, it can be useful to grant Gas bonus turns, because it does count as an entire turn. I'll try it just for an example when he comes back up in just a second, just so you can see how it works. And the reason that it's good in this particular instance, and in the next instance we'll talk about for the next team, is simply because it does provide cooldown reduction. So as you see here, we're going to use our middle ability, Armor Shred, then we're going to get a couple of dazes, but not really, do some cooldowns, hopefully. They're going to drop Gas, and he's going to get another turn in I don't know how long, and I'll try the event ability. And the reason it's good for this Gas team in particular, but not for other teams, is because you're basically just killing the clones who are going to die anyway. You're giving yourself a little bit more offense, which is not the key, but the key is you're refreshing the cooldowns, getting more AoEs, getting more... Of course, they don't sacrifice again, but I'll show you the event ability, assuming that he does anything. All right, he's back up. So he'll do this shenanigans, gives him an extra bonus turn, and it helps reset cooldowns. Obviously, he's not getting a bunch of offense because everyone's died because they didn't sacrifice, so they're not very thick anymore, and we got bad RNG with who they targeted. But it does help reduce his cooldowns, give him some juice, help him beat up teams, and that's going to be probably your best bet. And a team at 4 million GP, most of you guys will have at low relics like I have them. Finagle with the RNG, and you'll be good. The next team, and kind of the only other team that, you know, while we were streaming kind of even worked, I'm sorry, it's Jedi Knight Luke. It's not exactly an optimal strategy. I know. Hear me out. A lot of you guys probably doing this right at 4 million GP likely don't have Jedi Knight Luke. And that sucks, but we live in a world where if you don't have the money, you don't have the Maul or the Cat or the Razor Crest. So this is a sad, sad state of affairs. So the reason this team works is, assuming that that doesn't happen, is Jedi Knight Anakin gets bonus turns when people drop. Jedi Knight Revan will do a sacrifice, and then every time someone does their first turn, you can use the granted ability from Jedi Knight Luke, call a Mass Assist, which is nice, but more importantly, gives 100% turn meter to Jedi Knight Luke. As you see here, he died, the sacrifice from Jedi Knight Revan happened, he can use this ability, give us a Dispel, and then we can do this. Now that Jedi Knight Luke has taken a turn, all of their speeds have been reduced greatly, which is going to help out a lot. And then basically we can beat them up, beat them up, beat them up. Now I know, and I guess something that we learned in our testing is don't AoE. You're going to get massively counterattacked. You can AoE when they're all stunned. That's totally fine, but be very, 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 very careful. See, I'm going to AoE here, and then the ones that aren't stunned, or I guess they just didn't counterattack. Nice. So in this situation, I like to do this just to make sure Jolie's cooldowns are always reset so that he can assist with Jedi Knight Luke, who's going to do all of the damage, and also keep his revive on cooldown. So watch, I'm going to do an AoE here, and they're probably going to kill him, which is a little sad. Now, don't use the event feat here, because with the Jedi Knight Revan, the Hoda, Jedi Knight Luke reducing speed, stunning, and Jedi Knight Jolie Bindo allowing revives, you actually don't want your teammates to be super weak. Unlike the gas event, where they're probably going to die anyway if there's no sacrifice. Even if there is a sacrifice, they're likely going to die. We did a couple of battles, and we found that while getting the cooldowns a little bit closer to doing the granted ability and the stun is nice, it didn't make up for the fact that you kind of need your allies for this, and you are not in the least bit immune to terrible RNG like this. So, unfortunately, this event's hard. All the Galactic Legends work, obviously. The event's hard. There's not a lot of teams that do it. We tried CLS. CLS got destroyed. We tried Padme. Padme got destroyed. I have heard nice things about a full EP, Vader, Mara, Thrawn, and then someone else team. I just don't have them all at R3. If you guys have all those characters at R3, give it a whirl. Let me know in the comment section how it works. I've heard good things about full Relic Triumvirate with Nest. I also don't have a Relic Nest or a Relic Triumvirate, so I can't tell you about that. But yeah, tell me in the comment section what teams you guys used to beat this, if any, how they worked for you, how the turn meter worked. Not the turn meter, but how the general strategy worked. If you're too poor to do this event, I'm sorry. I feel you. That's just the way that the world works. Thank you guys so much for watching. Subscribe if you want your PP to increase by 7.5 inches. As always, I love you, and I'll see you later.